Very good morning to everyone. Welcome to Spark Cafe of Spark the Change India, and we are live. So today on air at Spark Cafe of Spark the Change India, we have four esteemed guests of honor, and we're going to introduce them one by one, even before we get into introductions of what Spark the Change India is, what Spark Cafe is, but we'll come to that. So I have with me Vivek Ganesan. Do you want to say good morning, Vivek, and tell us where you are dialing in from? You're on mute, Vivek.
Hi, this is Vivek. I am originally from Tamil Nadu, but I'm in Hyderabad right now. Good morning, everybody.
And how do you say good morning in your local language?
Oh, I just say vanakkam.
Vanakkam. Really nice. Thank you. And then we have Nilesh Kulkarni, who is definitely in the same time zone as all of us, but also in the same location as me from Pune. Do you want to say hello, Nilesh?
Hello, everyone. Suprabhat in my local language. Nice to be here on Spark Cafe Friday morning.
Thanks, Nilesh. And then we have Vasantan Philip, and we can choose to call him either Vasantan or Philip. Where are you dialing in from?
Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm Vasant, usually called as Watson. I'm dialing in from Chennai, and glad to be part of the Spark Cafe today.
Thank you, Vasant.
And in Tamil, it's Vanakkam.
Vanakkam. Okay, so we have two people speaking Tamil here, and we'll figure out. So we have Rishi dialing in from Thane, I believe. And do you want to say hello and good morning to us?
Yeah, hi. Good morning, everyone. And it's an energetic Friday morning. It would be Suprabhat for me as well. Marathi is my mother tongue. And I'm dialing in from Thane.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rishi. All right. So with that, let's start to introduce what Spark the Change India is all about. And I think before we come to Spark the Change India, very quickly to share, Spark the Change is really a global brand, which started in London, and it's gone all the way across globally to Toronto, Montreal, Melbourne, Amsterdam, this year in Pune, and also going to France. So really a global brand talking about co-creating change and getting the right leaders, business practitioners, and leaders from across the globe together, helping others co-create change and helping everyone be a part of this awesome change movement, no matter which sector, no matter which industry we are all from, because change is change and we can all learn from each other's industries. I'm super happy to be part of this brand. And hey, okay, I'm Sarika. I had to introduce myself. We are definitely missing my colleague from Canada here. I will introduce her. Her name's Elizabeth, and she looks at all our communications and marketing. She works with MCV Communications and is a part of Spark the Change India too. So with that said, very quick introduction of me, and then we get into the introductions of our esteemed guests of honor today at Spark Cafe. I pretty much work as a global change agent. I've been doing that for, I don't know how many years. I've stopped counting. Kind of gives out my age too with that. So yeah, more than 20 years. Let's just go with that. And what else do I do? I am pretty honored to be the conference chair of Spark the Change India, and super happy to have awesome people, coming together to co-create change. And with that, let's start with one of our awesome people here, and let's try and corner one of, each of them one by one, and we'll start with our questions. Okay, so who do we pick? Okay, let's go with Rishi. Maybe we'll start with you.
All right. So, as I said, my name is Rishi. I have been working as an experience designer, and I've been doing it for a number of years. And I'll go with you, Sarika. It would just be like number of years. That's just fine.
And you stopped counting.
I've stopped counting long back. I would like to consider myself as a fun guy because, as my tagline says, I'm creativity is intelligence having fun, and it's a funny ride all the way. Whenever I have been working in the assignments or consultancy or part of design workshops, It's been fun. It's just the most enjoyable experience, and I am super excited to be a part of Spark the Change. And I'll get into detail a bit later, but I think we'll just continue with the introductions.
For sure. I will add to what you said to me when we spoke on one of our last calls. And I remember you saying, okay, all you need is a spark to change your potential into achievements. And I still remember that statement. That's your strong belief. A lovely statement, which we will dwell into, I think, in a bit. Thank you. And I will corner you a bit to pick up the next person who should talk.
Vasant.
All right, Vasant it is.
Hey, hello everyone. This is Vasant calling in from Chennai. And welcome again. I'm really thrilled and excited about this Spark conference. I have been looking forward to facilitating one of the conference sessions, and thanks to Sharika has given me this opportunity. I'm really looking forward to that. A little bit about me. I am, like Vivek said, he's a guy who is joyful or something like that, right? In his tagline, I'm a happiness guy. So basically, like, you know, in every situation, whether it's we go through ups and downs in our lives and our careers. So in spite of that, like, you know, I always try to have my composure and exhibit happiness in the situation. So I'm basically a happiness guy. Intro about me. Yeah, I'm a change agent. Basically, I call myself a change mentor nowadays. I used to call myself a change agent because I want to bring about behavioral change and mindset change in people, because I believe that that is the one thing that is necessary for any human being or any organizations to improve. So I have been, over the last 10 to 15 years of my career, been a change mentor, helping people to transform their lives, transform their departments, transform their organizations to perform better. So that's my belief, and I wish that I can continue on my journey of being a good change agent. So that's about me. Over to Sarika.
Super. Thanks so much for that. I remember, Vasant, when we exchanged a couple emails, I remember seeing, what was that? Friendly coach.
Yeah, that's my, that used to be.
It was very cool. Yeah. I mean, I was like, okay, that's an interesting, subject line to put there just next to your name. I was like, being a friendly coach. And I was like, am I unfriendly? No, but I don't put it. I was like, okay, but I loved it. So thanks for that. All right. You pick the next person.
Sorry, Nilesh.
All right, Nilesh, it is.
Right. Again, hi all. Good morning. Suprabhat. Nilesh Kulkarni from Pune. I call myself again as a change agent involved in enterprise agile transformations for quite a few number of years now. And what that basically means is, on a day-to-day basis, you try to change something. So you inspire people to change, you try to change something yourself. And so this is all about, as I recommended, irrespective of the industry and type of work. It's all about making a world a better place by introducing some changes every time. So I think that is what we do. That is what connects me to this conference as well. So I think it is great opportunity. I think it is one more thing is first time it's coming, and it's coming in India, Pune. What better it can be? So I think it's an awesome start, and we'll probably make it one of the best events we have in India. So looking forward to that.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that, Nilesh. I must add, so of course, that's for our viewers. So we've interviewed Nilesh in the one of the earlier Spark Cafes. So it's the second time you come and participate with us on a Spark Cafe. And it's also because he's been the management reader to sponsored ticket winners for us. And he's been kind enough to say, I have a lot of experience in facilitation. Tell me what else I can do. And we, of course, would like a lot of awesome facilitation done. So here we are with the four of you. So thanks also for volunteering on that.
Thank you.
And that I think totally
Well,
aligns with your aspiration, right?
Pleasure. Yeah.
Thanks, Nilesh. I don't think you have to corner Vivek. He knows it's him.
Yeah, I am extremely cornered and I know it.
No stress, no stress. It's all right.
Yeah. Okay. So, hey guys, my name is Vivek Mason, and I am a published author, and I am the author of a book called Blameless Continuous Integration. I work for Solutions IQ, which is now a part of Accenture, and I prefer to call myself a person who is in the continuous quest of relating different things. I'm a guy with a tech inclination, so my daily job, is being a DevOps Agile consultant, and in that I am trying to figure out how some small changes in, let's say, for example, unrelated areas like tech. How does a small change in tech relate to happiness of people at large, and how a small change in the way we run stand-ups relates to workplace engagement at large. And I'm a person who is on a continuous journey to find these relations and see what happens when we steal and tweak practices from different domains. And that is what led me to Management 3.0 course with Sarika was conducting, and then I got connected to Sarika from there, and now I am here at Spark working with Sarika again. And we'll talk more. That's it for now.
Fantastic. Thanks for that awesome introduction. All four of you, very lovely introductions. And let's dive into how do you associate yourself with Spark the Change? I think you pretty much answered that in your introduction. So I'm going to get into another question, really. How do you believe Spark the Change is going to, your facilitation in Spark the Change exercises is going to help participants? And before we dive into that question, I think just a bit for everyone to understand the format for Spark the Change talks, and that's very different from most other presentations that we get from speakers and conferences. We don't have like a 45-minute or a standard 1 hour format. We have disrupted the format ourselves in Spark the Change, where we are saying, hey, every speaker gets 45 minutes, of which the last 10 minutes is going to be the standard Q&A, which we want to keep for all participants to have Q&A with our speakers. But the first 35 minutes that the speakers have is where we have a disrupted format. And it's been interestingly challenging also for all our speakers to build with that format, which is not just giving out a talk, but also letting participants connect with some actionable exercises or activities, which they can then take away as actionable takeaways from each talk, and probably say, oh, okay, I picked up this from this speaker's talk. These are the activities we tried, and I think I get the message from this speaker's talk. Maybe I can experiment on that at my workstation or in my workplace, my department, the change that's happening or the transformation that's happening at my workplace. So given that, of course, we want people to be able to support our facilitators. But how do you think that this facilitation will help participants and also our speakers, not just in person, but also over the robots? So we'll go with it. We'll start it the other way. We go with Vivek.
Okay, me again. From the participants' point of view, right? Like it is always good if there is somebody who is near you physically when you're doing these activities, and to guide you when you're going through, when you have any small questions, or you might not be following things which the speaker says, and anything that you don't have to call the attention of the entire room by just calling the speaker, but there is somebody who is just near you, and if you can, hey Vivek, can you help me with this particular thing? I'm trying to do this, can you help me with this? That is something that is helpful. And also we sort of try to keep it's as good as an extra speaker, a copy of the speaker standing near you, a local version of the speaker near you, so that we already synced up with the speaker before the conference, and we pretty much know what messages we want to convey, and we are pretty much in line with what the speaker wants to convey. So you get a mini version of a speaker just next to you, which you can access personally. That's the benefit for the participants from my point of view. From the speaker's point of view, particularly people who are joining our robots, we will be the human face who can interact with people with flesh and blood. That's one part of it. And for the speakers who are not even who are actually personally present there, we could be their extended voice. For particularly for people from different geographies, since we are from India, from the local geography, this will help us. This will help them to get a voice that speaks their language. The local language, even if it's common English, the variations or the way we speak English and multiple other aspects, the cultural connotations that you can bring are different. That's the advantage for the speaker, I would say.
Okay, very awesome. Sounds good. Thank you, Vivek. Who wants to go next? Or Vivek's going to pick up, is it?
Okay, Nilesh.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I think how I connect myself with the facilitation. I think I think we have lined up some great speakers, and they're already coming up with some great content. I think the role of a facilitator would be important here to be that bridge between the speaker and the participants, and make sure that the messages are reaching to the teams and they're actively involved, so we have better outcomes in each of the session. This facilitator's role will be to generate more ideas or discussions with a group of people. So I think we all facilitators will encourage that, which I think in the end is going to improve the collective outcome of all the workshops and sessions that the speakers are going to run. So I think that's going to help the participants a lot, because they have some bridge in between, which will connect the dots. That is the key thing I see the role of facilitator.
Awesome. Who next?
I can go next, Vasant here. Yeah, so in my view, I think facilitation is the key. What I have noticed in many conferences, usually the speaker also plays the role of a facilitator. But in conferences such as this, where a lot of interaction is required, if you have a separate facilitator helping the speaker, then it really makes a lot of sense. It makes it easier for the speaker to get the point going and make it more engaging to the audience and the participants. So I think the facilitator actually acts as a bridge between the audience and the speaker, and he can give cues to the speaker when the audience are a little bored or not engaging themselves, and the facilitator can chip in and try to change the. So it's very key that the facilitator is basically listening to the speaker, and at the same time also listening to the participants, and see if that needs to be some change in the way things are going in the particular session. So it's a really interesting thing when you're doing a facilitation with the speaker as a robot. Don't have a personal experience facilitating with a robot as yet, so I really look forward to this opportunity. But I see that the difference might not be much more, whether it's robo or the person being inside. So I'm really looking forward to the chances of state with a robo, and I think that will make it a little different in terms of how the interaction between the robo and the participants happen. So really look forward to that.
Wonderful. I think you also brought out an interesting point with the robot, right? So that, of course, demands another Spark Cafe conversation, but that's for later. Thanks for that. Rishi.
All right.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
I was listening to all of your views. I think there are two aspects to it. One is it is always better to connect than communicate. Most of the conferences, most of the lectures, most of the sessions, meetups, they are all about communication. They are all about one person talking, other people listening, and once the whole that monologue ends, people go back and then try to summarize their notes. That's the structure. But here we are changing the structure. Here you are getting the experience hands-on. It is like whatever you've heard, it gets stored in your short-term memory, and when you actually do it, it gets stored into your long-term memory. So you are actually taking back some very tangible and useful inputs for the rest of your life. And facilitators are the energizers, or they are the catalysts in the entire process. So if speakers are kind of making a point, they are sharing some idea, facilitators are expected to, and I'll try my level best to enhance, to amplify that idea, and then make it really easy for people to understand, work on it, and then get it imbibed in their psyche, so that they can come out of the conference, even if they don't refer to their minutes of meeting and their own notes, they still know what to do. They still have gathered or imbibed the lessons in their psyche. And I think that's the role of a facilitator. But that's from the audience perspective. From the speaker's perspective, yeah, I mean, they are getting extra pair of hands, ears, and eyes. We are going to be, I mean, there are going to be robots, but we're not going to be robots. We can introduce a spark, all right, when we are talking, or when we are doing some bid on the behalf of the speakers. We can always introduce a spark. We're not robots. We are human beings, and we are pretty much exposed to a lot of scenarios, conditions. We can manipulate the things so that the message is amplified for the audience. So that's it.
Fantastic. I think really wonderful feedback from all four of you. For you to be facilitators, to connect as a bridge, for you to amplify the message that the speakers are going to bring, for us to be pretty human, be there, connect to them, not just for the participants, but also, energize and bring more takeaways for the participants. And I think the complete experience for the participants would be very different. So it never gets dull for them. It's, if you see them getting off track, and of course, doing something in a different way from what the speaker intended, bring that message back, get them on, get them back on to doing what they are expected to move in the direction of that exercise, so that they get the right message out of each session. And it's not a monologue anymore. It's hands-on exercises. And that's how our human brains really work, right? It's interesting that we are now trying to get, let's say, a half day or a 1 day or a 2 day workshop in 35 minutes. How challenging can that be for both speakers, participants, but also for facilitators? It's not easy. You have to listen into both sides, and you have to make sure the message is, so there's no whisper happening through and through. What you are receiving here is also being transmitted here. So it's all about communication, about connection. Wonderful. One last question. Of course, you guys don't get to ask me questions, right? So since I'm the one who's asking the questions here, I think it's really important to see how, what's one message that all of you facilitators for Spark the Change India can leave our viewers with, from a Spark the Change perspective. What do you think can that message be? And I'll let you volunteer this time. Go for it.
Okay, I'll go first, I guess.
Okay.
So I strongly believe that 2 days can change your life. Let us spark the change. Let the change not happen in a passive way. Let's be active. Let us spark the change, and bring about that positivity and all the all the dreams come true kind of scenario. Only when you spark the change. So these 2 days can change your life. Please be there. That's all.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rishi.
Yeah, I can go next, Vasant here. I think this is going to be a different conference all the way down, because the traditional conferences, people say it's very boring, like the same speakers speaking about the same topics again and again. So I think this Spark the Change conference, the format is different. You're bringing in robots. So there is an amount of unpredictability about what's going to happen next. So I think it's going to be absorbing for the participants, and they are going to be seeing the real change, okay, from the traditional conference. And they will feel that at the end of 2 days, there's something valuable that I can take away from this conference, because the format was different, the types of games that we played were different, the activities were totally engaging, and the kind of interaction between the facilitators, participants, and the speakers was so great that there were key takeaways at the end of each session that they can take back to their workplace and try to implement that. So I think it's a kind of an unwinding conference rather than a standard conference. And definitely there will be some sparks that is coming out of this conference that the participants can take over and start to implement them in their organizations.
Fantastic. Thank you very much again, Vasant, for that message.
Okay.
Okay. I will add a couple of points. I think, yes, the facilitation and the way we run it is going to be way different than how it has been done. But another aspect, if you see the theme of the conference itself, we know we have a lot of people here, they understand that something needs to change. We need to challenge the status quo. And in today's ever-changing world, we cannot have the same thing that we did yesterday. But a lot of people are looking for some guidance on, we know, we understand we have to change something, what to change, where to change, and how to change. I think these are the things that I think this conference is focusing on, which is very unique about it. And I think we have these awesome speakers who have come up with those things, and we'll get some actionable insights on how to bring the change. So I would summarize it that this conference is going to help us to change the way we change the systems. This is how I would put it. So
lovely. Thanks, Nilesh.
Sure.
I would add to all of you said. What I think is external change is always constant, even at the very primal level, right? For example, external temperature changes, and your body internally does a lot of changes within itself to maintain the body temperature. If it is biological, external, if it is change and your internal is biological, you don't put your brain in it and it's not so hard. But when it involves a change in an organization level, where it involves a lot of human beings, or rather complex or active systems to be very specific, then the change becomes a little, what do you say, touchy, and change becomes a little challenging. This conference is going to help you in understanding the ways and living the ways of how to spark that internal change when the external change happens. It helps you to be capable of change, in an efficient and effective way. That's what this conference is all about. Come here for 2 days and you will go back as a person who is capable of changing as and when the situation and external conditions demand. That's what I would say. That's what I would ask for the audience.
Thank you, Vivek. That was also a wonderful message. So thank you, all of you, for wonderful messages for our viewers. I will now sum up our Spark Cafe conversations. Of course, we are all human beings. So if you want to get in touch with us, just drop us a note at info@sparkthechangeindia.com. You can follow us on Twitter at SparkChangeIN. We also have a YouTube channel that you might want to subscribe to. We are hashtagged at SparkChangeIndia, and our website is sparkthechangeindia.com. I think there's one other message I would like to leave. If you want to get in touch with our speakers, know more about them, please do log on to our website again. You are definitely more than welcome to write a note directly to me asking more about what the talk entails. There are other Spark Cafe talks that you can follow. This talk will be out hopefully tomorrow, really soon for you to watch. If you want to get in touch with our facilitators, know more about the conference from them directly, you can reach out to all 4 of them. They're very open people. They love to talk to. There are, as you can see, 4 human beings, so not robots, yay! So, but yes, please get in touch with them. Vivek also has got a site called vivekganesan.com. So if you want to tune into Vivek's thought streams on DevOps and Agile, feel free to do that. I know, Vasantan, you've got... where's that? There's a WordPress site that you've got in place. vphilip, isn't that correct? I think
that's right.
vphilip.wordpress.com. Yep. And how do you pronounce the, is it XI Cora Consultants, or how do you, or is it Zycora Consultants? How do you go with that?
It's Zycora Consultants.
Okay. ZycoraConsultants.com, pronounced as XICORA, Cora Consultants.com. So if you can also visit what Vasantan does and know more about him. If you want to reach Rishi and Nilesh, feel free to ping them on LinkedIn and Twitter. They're both available there. All four awesome people we are now co-creating change with, who so much believe in co-creating change with us. Thank you all again for being on Spark Cafe of Spark the Change India. I am so honored and take immense pride to work with all of you in this conference. And we will see each other online again soon.
Great. Thanks.
Great. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.